Hello, what is up, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name's Rachel and I make videos on travel, fashion, and environmentalism. So if you like travel, fashion, or the planet, you should consider subscribing to my channel. I've wanted to make a video like this since I discovered menstrual cups back in 2018. Menstrual cups have just changed my life. So dramatic. If you know me in real life, you know that I talk about my menstrual cup all the time. And I'm like on a mission to convert everyone to using menstrual cups because they are so amazing and so great for the planet. So a little disclaimer before we begin, I will be talking about menstruation in this video. I will be getting right into it. I do think it's important to have these open and honest conversations about menstruation, so I'm sorry to people who watch my videos who do not menstruate. This one's not for you. Also, if you have a preconceived notion in your head that menstrual cups are gross and disgusting and you're not going to change your views, that's fine, but I'd appreciate if you just kept those opinions to yourself and, you know, maybe decide to click off this video because there ain't space for all that. But if you're in any way interested in menstrual cups at all, then, you know, keep watching this video. I'm hoping that this video will be easy to follow and informative for people who are just starting to learn about menstrual cups. So I took this video pretty seriously because I've been wanting to make it for so long, and I broke it down into sections. I have notes here. So, okay, I'm going to be starting with just a general discussion of what a menstrual cup is. I'm then going to talk about the pros of a menstrual cup, and then I'm going to be talking about how to use a menstrual cup generally. I'm then going to be talking about how to find a cup that is right for you. I think this is really important that you stay until this part because a lot of people think that it's a one-size-fits-all system, and it is not. At the end of the video, I want to do a Q&A. I asked people on my Instagram if they had any questions about menstrual cups at all. I'm hoping to maybe answer them throughout, but if there's any questions that I missed, I will answer them at the end in the Q&A, so stick around for that. Alright, so what is a menstrual cup? A menstrual cup is a silicone cup. You should be buying from a company that uses medical grade silicone. So you actually insert the cup inside of you, and it sits fairly low in your vagina. It sits below your cervix, and it collects period blood instead of absorbing it like a tampon would. And there's also different sizes for different vaginas. I'm just gonna put a picture right here rather than holding up my own menstrual cup. If you want to see a video of anyone like holding a menstrual cup and like manipulating it, you should look up the channel Precious Stars Pads. She is how I got into menstrual cups, and I learned so much from watching her videos. So the pros of a menstrual cup. So since this is a channel where I make environmental videos, I just wanted to comment on the environmental impacts of a menstrual cup. I used to get really depressed when I would look at my garbage can during or after my period, and there would be so much waste that I created during my period. So when I found out about menstrual cups, this was a great switch. It's basically making your period zero waste. One cup, and they can last you up to 5 to 10 years depending on if you take care of it. Another pro is that it saves money. So obviously, because it is a reusable cup, it is a one-time purchase. They're usually between $40 to $60 depending on the cup that you buy. This is in comparison to buying a box of tampons every period, buying a box of pads every period. That can add up. So the main thing that really got me hooked on menstrual cups was the amount of time you can leave it in. So you can leave it in for up to 12 hours. So this is amazing for so many reasons. But let me just start with the fact that it is so easy to calculate because 12 hours, you should add 12 hours something. If I put it in at 10 a.m., I don't have to take it out until 10 p.m. Secondly, you can sleep with them in. This was huge for me because I was always so scared of getting toxic shock, so I would never sleep with tampons in. I would always sleep wearing a pad. If you've ever worn a pad before, if you know, you know. Pads are so uncomfortable. I always hated sleeping with a pad on. So the fact that I could sleep with this in was so amazing for me. I leave my cup in for 12 hours. I have a regular flow, and on the first couple days of my period when my flow is at its heaviest, I will leave it in for 12 hours and my cup will only be a third of the way full. This is actually super impressive because I have a cup that is smaller than most. I think people overestimate how much they bleed. I kind of compare it to like if you have a piece of toilet paper and you drop a bit of water on it, like how much that water spreads out. Also, I like to travel a lot. I do make travel videos on this channel as well. Shameless self-promo right now. Traveling with a menstrual cup is the best thing ever. I was actually considering way back when I wanted to make this video for the first time that I was going to label this video like the best travel hack for women, because it really is. But I didn't want to do that because it's not only women that menstruate, people who are non-binary menstruate, people who are transgender menstruate. It's not just women who menstruate, so you know, I didn't really want to use that title. I'd rather just say people who menstruate. So it's the best travel hack for people who menstruate. It's just so amazing because like if I have a really long plane ride and I just get my period, like I am set. I can just put my menstrual cup in and not have to worry about it. You can also pee with a menstrual cup in, you can swim with a menstrual cup in, you can do active workouts with a menstrual cup in. It is just amazing. You can do like everything you could do with a tampon and more, because I guess you can't really pee with a tampon. I don't know about you guys, but I would always just avoid peeing with a tampon because then the tampon string would get all wet and that would just be so not fun or fresh. Another thing that is great is that you are not putting any harmful chemicals into your body. What I didn't really consciously think about, and I think a lot of people don't consciously think about with tampons, is that tampons are cotton. So cotton is already grown with a bunch of pesticides, and then there's also just a bunch of harmful chemicals to bleach the cotton to that nice, perfect white to make a beautiful tampon. So basically you're putting a bunch of pesticides and harmful chemicals into your body and letting it simmer, letting it stew. Yeah, stew is a better word. You're basically letting it stew in your body for hours. This video, I'm really just getting into it, guys. I did warn you in the disclaimer. Disclaimer before we begin, I will be talking about menstruation in this video. I will be getting right into it. Another pro, we'll actually get into more detail in the next topic of how to use a menstrual cup, but menstrual cups use suction to work. So because they use suction, there's virtually no period smell. I know some people associate like a period smell that they have when they're on their period. So when you have a menstrual cup, it is suctioned up in there and there's no smell at all. Along with not putting any harmful chemicals in your body, menstrual cups don't absorb your vagina's moisture like a tampon would, and when it absorbs too much moisture, it kind of messes with the whole pH balance of your vagina. So another great reason to use a menstrual cup. I'd be remiss if I did not mention the cons of a menstrual cup. The only con that I see, if I'm being 100% transparent, is that there is a bit of a learning curve. Just like when you first learned how to use tampons, anything, I mean, really anything that you are putting into your vagina, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. Yeah, there is a bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to it, it's so amazing and it's 100% worth it. And it's not even like that crazy of a learning curve. Okay, how to use a menstrual cup. Let's get right on into it. Basically what happens is that you fold it, then you insert it into your vagina. There's 3 main folds that I know. So there's a C fold, the 7 fold, and the punch down fold. I'll try to like insert photos if I can to show you what I'm talking about. If you're wondering, I personally use the C fold, but everyone is different and you can just play around with the different folds to see which one works for you. If you've ever been to Europe and used like a European tampon, they don't have like applicators to push up. They literally just have like the cotton thing and then you just shove it in there. So shove it in there. It's basically like that. You are responsible for really just like getting it in there. Like I said, it does sit pretty low in your vagina, but you want to make sure that it pops right open because like I mentioned before, it does use suction. So you fold it and then what you're looking for is for it to, oh, that was a good one. Oh! But that's why it's suctioned inside of you and then it can't leak. I read online the other day that there are actually 9 different folds that you can do. I was only aware of 3, but yeah, like there is a whole menstrual cup universe out there and so many articles and YouTube videos that you can watch and read. Go out and explore if you find that those 3 folds don't work for you. A way to check that it is popped open inside of you, I would actually recommend just like running your finger along the outside of it just to make sure that it is open. They recommend that for the first time that you are inserting a menstrual cup, maybe like sit down, or you can put your foot up somewhere, make it easier to get in. I personally like to just like run water on my menstrual cup before I put it in me, just like it just kind of gives it a bit of lubrication to help slide up in there. You don't like want to be putting your like dry cup in there. It'd probably be a little hard. So yeah, so what I basically do is I just like run it under water and then do a fold and put it, oh no, put it in me and then So how you take it out, you want to pinch it because that breaks the suction, and then pull directly down. What I like to do personally, because I told you we're getting into the nitty-gritty here, I like to pinch it, pull it down, but I also like to have a piece of paper towel with me. I like to have a piece of paper towel with me just because I find sometimes menstrual blood is goopy, and there sometimes is like a string, and then I can just like wipe myself and I won't be like making a mess of my bathroom floor. The reason I said to pull down vertically is because you don't want to like accidentally spill your cup. If you are nervous like the first couple times taking out your cup, you could always just like do it in the shower. You just want to dispose of your menstrual blood and then run it under water. In between each use, you can just rinse it under a tap, but at the end of your period is when you want to give it a good clean. I personally boil my menstrual cup for 5 minutes just to sanitize it in between periods. You can also use sterilizing tablets. I use those sometimes. I'll try to link some below in case someone's interested in that. It's really important to mention that a menstrual cup cannot get stuck inside of your vagina. Your vagina has an end. It can't get lost up in there, but all you really have to do is kind of like bear down like you're going to the bathroom, and you can kind of push it to a place that it's comfortable for you to then pinch it and pull it down. Okay, and now onto the section how to find a cup that is right for you. So in all honesty, when I first learned about menstrual cups, I was interested and I'd heard about the Diva cup. I'm sure a bunch of people have heard about the Diva cup. Sometimes it's people's only exposure to menstrual cups. The Diva cup is just a brand, whereas menstrual cup is like the object, the product. There's so many different brands of menstrual cups, and Diva cup is not the only one. So I went out and I bought myself a Diva cup just to like try it out because I was reading some things online about menstrual cups, and I was like, okay, let's give it a shot, and it didn't fit. And so that was a little discouraging. I've also heard from some friends when I talked to about menstrual cups that they tried, just like me, the Diva cup, and it didn't work on them, and then they kind of gave up. They're like, oh, menstrual cups don't work on me. But no, that's not the case. I personally have a low cervix when I'm on my period, so that is why the Diva cup didn't work for me. It actually like hung outside of my body. That is not right. You do not want it to be hanging outside of you. So when you think about buying a menstrual cup, you want to think about the size because you don't want it to be falling out of you, but you also want to think about the firmness of the cup, and that just depends on your like core wall and how like tight it is. Because for me personally, I used to do dance and cheerleading, and so if I was to get a menstrual cup that was too soft, it would actually just kind of like crumple up inside of me, if that makes sense. Why am I at a loss of words today? It would just kind of like not, it wouldn't, there. Don't even need words. And you want it to pop up open inside of you. So if I had one that was too soft, it just wouldn't do the job. Things would be different if I had like had a child. Like it just, there's a lot of things to consider. To find a cup, this is the advice I give everyone. Long story short, I did all this research trying to find the right cup for me, and I found a cup and I use it and I still have it today and I love it. But one day I was on this website and it's called putacupinit.com, and I'll link that below as well, and I took one of their menstrual cup quizzes for fun because it asked you like what cup would be right for you, and I was like, oh, this will like kind of fun, like I wonder what cup I get sort of thing, right? And I did the whole test and it gave me the cup that I already use and know and love. So I was like, wow, because of that it seems like a pretty legit quiz for me, and I've heard great reviews from other people as well. To my understanding, they only recommend cups that are medical grade silicone, so you know that you are getting a good recommendation for one. The only question that I didn't know off the top of my head when I was taking the quiz was how high or low my cervix was at the time. So what I recommend to people, step 1, find out how high your cervix is, and then step 2, take that quiz. So how to find your cervix. Your cervix feels like a marble with a dent in it, and it'll feel completely different than the rest of your uterine walls. Your cervix fluctuates when you're on your period and when you're not on your period. So what I recommend to people is to find their cervix in the shower when they're on their period, so they know they're getting an accurate representation. And so it's not a massacre like all over your hands. I personally get my finger into here before I feel my cervix. If you're the same as me, that means you have a low cervix. If you can go higher, that means you have a high cervix, and if you can only get about this big, that means you have a very low cervix, and there's basically only one cup that'll work for you, but the quiz will tell you that if you take the quiz. Okay, so now moving on to the Q&A section of the video. I was really excited about this because whenever I talk about menstrual cups, my friends and family, they always have a bunch of questions, so I basically just posted a video on my Instagram with a little question box for people to send me any questions that they have, and people sent me some good questions. If you're not already, you can go follow me on Instagram. I post a bunch of fun stuff on there. So the first question I got is it gross? This is a big thing, okay? So I think a lot of people have this misconception that menstrual cups are gross. I think you're a little bit removed when you use a tampon because everything's just like soaked up into that one thing and you can kind of just like yank it out of you and wrap it up and never look at it again. But with a menstrual cup, like you're actually like seeing your period blood like in the flesh in a cup. And I don't know, I think some people think that is gross. I don't think it's gross. I personally think that, you know, I can get into a whole discussion on how I think menstruation is totally natural. It's actually like the most natural thing because how else would anyone be born without a menstrual cycle? I don't know. But aside from that, I don't think it's gross because I think it's better for you because you don't have pesticides or disgustingness in your vagina, and it's more sanitary because you're actually able to clean it between uses. And I know it's medical grade silicone, so I don't think that's gross at all. I think it's safer and better for you. Okay, so the next question, this is actually a really good one. What do you do in public bathrooms? So the short answer is really that you won't really need to be in public bathrooms changing your menstrual cup all that much because you can keep it in for so long. But if you are like at the beginning of your period and it's pretty heavy flow and you do find yourself needing to change it in a public restroom, here's my advice. I would bring a water bottle with me and then use my water bottle to kind of clean it. And I've done this before when I'm traveling. But make sure, my friends, make sure it is a reusable water bottle. Thank you. Save the planet. The next question is, what one should I do it? You should do it. You should. Like, imagine if everyone used a menstrual cup, like how much waste we would be saving. I think about it. I think about it a lot. Next question is it messy? It can be if you're not careful. I don't think it's overtly messy. It's definitely like more messy than a tampon. But it's not anything crazy. It's not messy in the sense that like you can wear it longer and it's suctioned up there so there's like no leaks. So that's less messy. Another question was, do I have to wear a liner with it? I personally used to wear liners way back when, but now I've actually transitioned over to make my period completely zero waste because I use reusable underwear. I know that sounds super weird. I'm thinking about making a whole other video on it, but you can get reusable underwear that is a thong. And so that's basically like a replacement for a liner. I personally really like wearing thong underwear all the time when I'm on my period and when I'm not on my period. So what I'll personally do is I'll wear my menstrual cup and then I'll wear my thong reusable underwear and I'm set. I just always like to wear a liner with things just to be like extra safe. That's just me. But it's preference. I know a bunch of people use their menstrual cup and they don't wear anything with it. How many should I buy? How many do you have? I only have one, and I think you should buy just one because that's really all you need. You can't use two at once. Just buy one and take care of it would be my recommendation. Someone said, is it dangerous if I leave it in for too long? LOL. You didn't hear from me, but I have left my menstrual cup in for 24, 36 hours, maybe. Near the end of my period when my flow is a little lighter, sometimes I just like forget that I'm on my period because menstrual cups are so amazing, and I'll just leave it in there for a hot minute. They've actually done studies where, because it's medical grade silicone, that people have left it in for like weeks and they've been fine. So I think that's like absolutely insane. Obviously don't leave your menstrual cup in for weeks. No one's gonna do that. But it's just really interesting that they can do that and that they've done studies for that. When you think about tampons, I always thought it was really weird that if you like leave this product in for too long, it can kill you. Yeah, I'm not about that life anymore. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope it was informative. I hope you learned something, and I hope you go out there and try to get a menstrual cup that's right for you. If you like this video and you're thinking about making the switch, reach out to some other friends who menstruate and maybe send this to them. The more we can get the word out there, the more we can normalize menstrual cups, the more we can open up discussions about periods, I think the better. Like I said, I will also be answering any of the comments, so if you have any other questions about menstrual cups, leave them in the comments. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. I've been posting a lot on there this summer. And like I said, if you like travel, fashion, or environmentalism, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to post videos every single Sunday. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.